And we're back for day number 2, game 4 of the PUPCON tournament. I'm facing a very good player in John Salter and his Dark Elves. Now, according to the Irresistible Force website, John is ranked, I think, number 11 or 12, something rather. And so he's no slouch, but he normally brings his demons or Skaven to tournaments. I remember one tournament early in the year, John actually won the tournament, Emperor's Legion, with his demons, Gorn-based demons, and in Clash of the Titans, which was sometime in, I think, February, he came third or second with his Skaven, so he's a pretty damn good player. So when he told me that he actually didn't win any games leading up to our game, I was a bit surprised, a bit taken aback by that, because I have to admit, knowing that he's in the top 15 of the Irresistible Force rankings, I was a bit intimidated at first, but then I thought, it's only a game, what the hell, let's go for it. Anyway, you can see our deployment there. He's got a Hydra in the middle of his deployment, just hiding behind the set of forest there in the middle of the table. He's got his stock standard Blackguard, 20 repeater crossbowmen, his repeater bolt throwers on the hill. He had 6 Cold One Knights. He didn't have that much magic, along with me. I mean, I only brought a level 1 to this tournament, and I think so did he, just for a scroll caddy or something rather. Anyway, you can see my deployment there. Obviously, big blocks of orcs down in the middle. A wyvern. What I wanted to do with the wyvern was keep them away from the repeater bolt throwers, because I didn't want to get skewered by them so early in the game. What I wanted to do was bring them around the flanky, the right-hand flank, that's closer to the table. And if his Blackguard do decide to come through, I could flank him with the wyvern. Moving along now. In this picture, you can see my mistake here with the squig hoppers. What I wanted to do was get him towards the Hydra, but I didn't roll high enough. They did charge eventually, but the thing was I couldn't get as many models in. I was just too scared that these unit of Blackguard there on the right hand side of those forests there in the middle had the standard of Hag Grief. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you will see Blackguard units with that standard where it makes them always strike first. And that makes them such a tough unit. So what I did was I put the squigs in front of the Hydra. The Hydra ended up breaking it, and then it stuck his head out of the forest. And it would have been his next turn. So what he actually done was, he charged the Hydra into a whole bunch of goblins there. I know he actually charged the pump wagon there. See on the middle of the photo there. Anyway, you can see me hanging back with the orcs. His harpies on the left hand side triggered a few fanatics. Couldn't knock them off. What happened was I just rolled badly. I kept rolling below 8, and not hitting too much of them. But you could also see his Cold One Knights on his left flank. Did alright with the Doom Diver. I think I would kill about 3 in my first round of shooting, first or second round of shooting, and that really hampered his Cold One Knights, because I knew he was gonna do a lot of damage with those guys there, as they do. What I failed to mention also was that he did have an assassin in his army, and I wasn't too sure where he'd put him. I don't think he was going to put him in the Blackguard, because they're already a tooled up unit. Just a gut feeling that either be in the spearmen or maybe even in those repeater crossbowmen. Now in this photo you can actually see the Blackguard moving along, charging the pump wagon, and there's that Hydra, like I said earlier on, it came through, broke the squig hoppers, moved out from the forest and charged into the pump wagon. And it wasn't looking too good for me there, because, obviously the Blackguard are going to munch through the pump wagon and those poor goblins there. The Night Goblin Archers actually did have 1 fanatic and took out 2 Blackguard. Not much, but at least it cancels out a rank. Better than nothing, I suppose. And you can still see these repeater crossbowmen just hanging back, just peppering units. His magic wasn't really doing for him that in this game. I suppose if you only have a level 1 wizard or level 2, whatever he had, Not expecting much, but then again, I wasn't either, because I've only got a level 1. Now in the ensuing combat phase, obviously the Blackguard, they just went through the archer unit and the pump wagons. Actually, he broke the pump wagon first, and then he would overrun into the Night Goblin unit, which I fled. Obviously, I'm not going to cop a hit from that. But 10 was enough to move the Blackguard towards the Orc unit there, down the bottom on the right-hand side. That's actually the Black Orc Big Boss's unit, not the BSB. Yeah, and then I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. But on the out of this picture here, I had the Wyvern on the right-hand flank there, and when those Blackguard moved in against the Orcs, what I did was I charged the Wyvern into their flank. It was looking a lot better, but Blackguard being stubborn, leadership 10, because he had his general in there. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to budge, and they were there for quite a while. I think they were there for about 2 or 3 turns or something like that. Anyway, the Hydra, that broke through as well, and it reached the Orc unit, which had no special characters, on the left-hand side there. And yeah, I was lucky that they didn't break. They managed to stick around as well. And yeah. So the combat went back and forth for quite some time. In the end, because it was close lists, he decided to share his beautiful weapon, his magical weapon, with his general, which was the Executioner's Axe, which eventually brought down the Wyvern. Pretty fortunate that my own general didn't die, but it took about 2 or 3 turns to wipe out that unit of Blackguard. Yeah, and you can see the lone Orc there in the middle. His unit actually got peppered by shots, bolt thrower shots, and a magic that he cast with Irresistible Force. Yeah, and you can see my Spider Riders just moving along to claim a table edge. And it was a very hard fought game, It was actually the first game where my Doom Diver actually did quite some damage with the Knights. Eventually took out the whole unit of Knights. Couldn't quite finish off the Sorceress there, you see in the middle of the picture there. She's on her own, so she could get range on to get off that magic, which she did. Wiped out the unit of Orcs there. You can see all the champions surviving. Yeah, I think I was very fortunate this game. Very fortunate. It was I had a better plan. I think I deployed better as well. And yeah, I was just happy. I came out with an 11-9 win. It was very tight in the end. Very tight because he just on the left-hand flank there. You can't actually see it in this photo, but he did most of the damage there. He took out 2 units of Night Goblins. He eventually took out the 2 of my bolt throwers with his harpies, which I just couldn't kill. I just couldn't kill the damn things because they would flee and they would just come back, and yeah, it was just frustrating because just don't quite think that they would rally on their own leadership. I think it's 5 or 6 or something very low, something goblin-like, and they kept coming back, and that's what eventually took out my war machines. But yeah, 11-9 win. I was happy with that.